Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
Well, addictions are of different kinds, but there's been a specific spike, especially in technology addictions. Now, this could also mean overuse of your mobile phones, overuse of your laptops, computers. It can be overuse also of using the digital medium. Now, there's a social media addiction that is actually spiking, and online gaming that has been seen. And one interesting thing that Bangalore sees, especially compared to the rest of the country, is it has the only and the first clinic that takes care of de-addiction, especially for technology de-addiction. I'm here at the SHUT clinic, and SHUT is an interesting acronym for what is called the Service for Healthy Use of Technology, part of NIMHANS. This also is an important place because not only children or people who are addicted to technology come here, but people in the family also seek counseling to because they find themselves stressed out while they're trying to control some other. The man behind this is Dr. Manoj Sharma. I have Mr. Manoj Sharma with me. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Important and interesting spike that is seeing. Important because everybody is addicted to technology of some kind. We are in a digital space, and while we are doing that, people are finding it difficult to detach themselves. Why are we seeing this kind of continued increase, especially amongst youngsters? While we have people who actually control them, there is still they do it on the side. Is it because the parents are unable to control them, or is the environment that is making it difficult?
I think it's an interaction of individual factors as well as the environmental factors also. And on the top of it, I think it's accessibility to online devices, either gadgets or mobile phone and other things. That's always remains available to the youngsters or late teens 24/7. And then over the time it has become a method to pass free time. It has become a method of communication, and it's like more or less they use it since communication is not happening and communication is not up to their expectations, so they enjoy the online communication more and they remain hooked to those various platforms of online communication.
So natural societal interactions is almost nil?
We can say that there is a decline definitely has been seen. As it's not the teens, even the adults are busy with the mobile phone, and each member of the family has their own specific tasks to carry it out. So I think sometimes they are busy because of their certain demands from the environment, and they are not able to give adequate time to each other, which everybody is looking for in the family environment as well as in the outside environment.
So is it a fair comparison if I say that in the digital space, a youngster, a person who's on the internet or on the digital space will have more friends, for example 1,000 friends on the online space, but would have only a minimum of 2 or 3 friends interacting on even a daily basis?
I think this is what we are seeing in children who are approaching for treatment at our clinic. When we ask them how many friends do you have, the next question they ask, which kind of friends are you asking for? So then we have to further clarify the question, offline and online friends. Then the answer is offline very few, but online if you say they have 500,000 friends with whom they interact each day, and they will like to interact with them in future also, because they feel it gives them enjoyment, it gives them the freedom to discuss what they like, and it also gives them the recognition which they do not get in the environment. Though it's there in the environment, but they feel that recognition is much more than what they get in the home environment or in their real life environment. And somewhere these online friends are also fulfilling the need for affiliation or approval also, which they get more frequently, because if they have 500 friends, at least 50% of the friends they approve their behavior. That's become a good boost for them.
And also it's because it's competitiveness of sorts. One interesting spike that you're seeing is of Pubg, right? That game especially. You have how many cases are you actually seeing on a weekly basis coming here?
Now I think most of the cases which are coming to us, they are playing this particular game called Pubg, and I would say because the type of features the Pubg has and its availability. Second is a peer pressure also, because most of their friends are also playing Pubg, so they also get attracted to play this game, or they have to be part of that peer group. That's why they start playing this Pubg games. And as a child start playing, they also start enjoying their success, and whenever they are not able to achieve success in this game, they feel guilty and they again like to rework on their skills with further refinements, or with further discussion with online friends what way they can do for good in this kind of game, which makes them to spend quite a good amount of their daytime in playing these games or thinking about this game, how to improve their skills.
But are they also what are the number of cases that you see? Has that increased over since because the downloads have crossed around 150 million across the world?
True. So I think now we are almost seeing 7 to 8 cases per week, and most of them are boys.
What is the age category?
It's 15 to 20 age is most of the clients are in this age group, and most of them play PUBG or they have played PUBG also, this I would say, but there are other games are also available, but predominantly PUBG is the main source of attraction among the treatment seekers.
What do they say? How is it that what drives them, what pulls them, and what is the situation they face? Is it that they can't do without it the whole day, they are addicted to it in such a way they spend hours together and they forget even to do their daily activities?
I think it's the novelty of the game which attracts them, and the type of features it provides. And I think, and the type of feature as well as you go ahead in the games, you can further work on your skills, you can get further devices to sharpen your skills, and also that's the advantage. I think they enjoy it, and since once they start playing one games, and if they wins, if they have a good feeling in that games, it makes them to play the next level and next game and other games till they reach the end. So
what do they feel? What is the kind of emotions that they go through?
They feel very good. I think that's the say. They feel very good. They enjoy. And
if they're not there, their basically confidence level is low.
That's, I think, sometimes they feel very low also when they have not performed up to their expectation or as per the expectation of their team member, because it can be played either solo or it can be played in a team game also. So but most of the children do enjoy team game because it gives them opportunity to interact with each others and to work on their skills.
Pulling out, especially de-addiction, it is a tough one, because first of all they need to accept that they have an addiction. I think most problems that you face is making them accept that they are facing an addiction of this kind.
Yeah, because I think generally when we work with the youngsters or the late teens, the first question they ask whether it is a addictive game, and how would I know I am addicted to this game?
How would they know? So that our viewers understand.
So I think first thing generally we tell them, like, once it's becoming a habit for them. If I'm saying habit, there are 3 things they must have. Like, one is their preoccupation with the games, means that most of the time of the day they are remain preoccupied to play these games or to spend time in thinking about the games. And second is loss of control. Once they start playing, they don't know when to stop it. Third is they continue use despite knowledge of various consequences. They know that my studies are getting affected, or my sleep is getting affected, or there is a family issues, or other issues are also coming up. But they, despite all these 3 reasons, if they continue to play, then we say, and if it is happening for at least 6 months to 1 year, then definitely we can say the person is developing or the teen is developing addiction to gaming.
So if for example in a day I spend 2 to 3 hours playing PUBG, or what is the kind of parameters that you see which you actually then say I'm addicted, I'm likely to be addicted, or I'm at a point where I need de-addiction?
One, definitely we can say, like as I said previously, if they have a continuous craving and desire to play these games. Second, again we go loss of control. Third is coping. Are they using it more as a method of coping, to feel relaxed, to work on their free times, or to cut off the environment? Because sometimes children says once they start playing, they cut off from the environment, they don't feel what their parents say, it just gives them enjoyment. So if they are using this whole gaming as a method of coping, its use will become more, and they may also reach the criteria of excessive use. Fourth is because of this it's become a habit for them. They want to play, though there is no enjoyment, nothing, but they don't have any other activity in their repertoire. Only thing is playing games.
And sleep deprivation, depriving sleep
deprivation. And sometimes the children also come with a logic that it doesn't make any sense to them. If you say sleep deprivation, they say even if I sleep at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, but I still have my 9 hours of sleep by getting up by 10 o'clock in the morning. So they are easily rationalizing that their sleep loss is not, but they are not able to rationalize that how much loss will happen if they are getting up at 10 o'clock. It means they have missed their college, they have missed their school, or they might, if they are. So that is the lot of rationalization and justification comes on the part of user also. And because of these things, though there are consequences in their lifestyle, sometimes children do report pain in the eyes, pain in the neck, body pain, but they overlook it because the enjoyment is too much with the playing games, the appreciation they likes too much, whatever they get from the friends, and the recognition they get from them, that all drive them to continue playing this game.
I remember the conversation I had with you when we were talking about Netflix addiction and where you were getting cases of that sort. The similarity in which you're saying, especially to try and get approval, the fact that you want to, if you have an issue, you want to use that as your substitute. Is it very typical of technology addiction throughout?
That's I think most of the cases which we are saying, the factors remains more or less same, only the using platforms gets changed, and coping is generally, which is we are saying is a commonest factor across most of our cases, whether Netflix addiction, whether social media or gaming also.
You're also seeing now how parents of children or families are finding it difficult to cope with people who have this kind of addiction. So you're counseling them too, and they're also coming for further counseling with you?
I think we are focusing on families also, because over the time we realize it's not the teen which is we have to work with, we have to work with the family also. One thing we have to make help the family member to improve their psychological health, which can be done by educating them about the illness, because sometimes they have various questions, how my child is going to behave, what would the course and outcome of this child, or whether he will be okay or not. So by giving empirical based information, it reduces their anxiety. Second, we also educate them to do relaxation, to engage in various pleasurable activities. Most of the families say that they have lost it because they more or less remain in and around the child only, and their conversation is always in and around child's gaming behavior, so they don't know what else they can do to relax themselves. So we help them to refocus on other life pleasurable things which can make them relax and which can improve their psychological health, so that if their psychological health gets improved, they can take a better care of the child also. And third, we work with all families is communication, because most of the family over the times become more judgmental also, which is I think sometimes it's a part of parenting that they feel this is good or bad, they just work on that two domains. So we educate them to be non-judgmental, increase their communication with the child, know why child likes to spend time on these online devices rather than being with them, and if they have a fair understanding, that will also help them to become non-judgmental, as well as they can help the child to get over it, or they can develop some contract with the child that how many hours will be good and how many hours they should focus on other lifestyle.
What has been the most challenging case you have taken up, or you have seen, or you have treated of a child who has gone through either Pubg addiction or any of this kind of online gaming?
I think the most challenging cases comes, I think, when the parents likes to approach us, but the child doesn't want to see us.
Have you had that case where the child has refused?
That's I think we are seeing quite frequently. That's become a challenge, because if once the child approaches, at least we can, some point of time we can start working with the child. But especially few families have come where parents are very much stressed because the child has stopped going to for college. He has stopped his academics and he has isolated himself in one of the room of his there
and playing PUBG
and all. And I think for child it may be because some nowadays another craze which is coming in the children, they want to build up a career in gaming only. So sometimes the school dropouts or early college dropouts, they just drop out because they want either they like to play games or they like to become a game developer without working on what are the other requisites are required to become a game. So with this kind of stress, if the child isolate themselves in the room only, then it's become a very stressful situation for parents. And at that time our limitation also comes, we find it very difficult to communicate with the child. And I think sometimes even if we try through the parents through email communications and other things, since we have not seen the child, so it's very difficult to bring the child into any kind of conversation.
So are you involving school managements also and talking to them and seeing that identify any such kind of cases that they're seeing of either children not coming to class, dropouts, or even seeing signs of where they want to play a game and they're virulent to a certain extent?
I think wherever school, colleges invite us, and whenever we take any lectures about this kind of, we educate the administration as well as the even I think we educate the children's or the college going also, if they identify any one of their friend is anywhere showing this kind of signs, so it could be because of gaming, it could be any other reason also, but one reason definitely could be because of preoccupation with the technology use.
If I could ask you, just for our viewers, 3 major things that would help people, be it the school managements or parents or anybody around the child, to identify that the child is addicted to a game or to a particular or to a device, and when would the alarm ring? When would that alarm be sounded?
I think once the first sign basically comes like if the child talks or child has shown a lot of preoccupation about online devices in the school environment also, and I think as and when some of the schools are already working on awareness, but if still the child shows or group of children show this kind of preoccupation or they like to spend time, that's the first sign is there. Second, if they see a decline in their academics, so that decline in academics because of number reason, but nowadays online spending a lot of time on online devices can be the reason for decline in academics. Third, if they find that there is a irregularity in the to the school or colleges in the teens behavior, that's also maybe one of the signs that to look for whether child is spending time on the devices and other things. Or if the parents are very much concerned or they ask queries where school find it very difficult to answer those queries and child is more defensive about this kind of activities, then again it's a sign that child requires some counseling and needs further updates.
So basically there are 2 major hurdles in this. The first one is identifying that there is an issue. Once that is done, then weaning away the person from that kind of technological addiction is the second one, and that is where the doctors step in. And that is why it is important to identify that our reliance on technology these days our dependency needs to be reduced. And if we find an overuse or to the point of abuse, while even the World Health Organization has found this to be an issue and they have recognized it as a problem, then we also need to see that we learn to be working towards a better society where we interact with humans and not with machines. Rohini Swami in Bengaluru for The Print.